The following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? I am so excited. In the building, we have Miss Phyllis Yvonne Stickney, actress, comedian, poet to the fullest. Beautiful. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you
so much
for the invitation.
I'm telling you, all these years, just everything you've done to pave the way for all African American women and men.
Wow.
As that's for just opening the doors for us. Because had it not been for you, thank you for that opportunity. Because just looking at all of your past, just accolades, how you started in things, man.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
It's been fun,
Yeah.
challenging, uplifting,
Yeah.
important.
Right. How did you start?
Wow. Ooh. Well, I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was born in a place where you didn't think about being an actor.
Right.
You thought about maybe being a teacher, maybe. But you didn't, a librarian, but you didn't think about being in the arts or an actor. So I never thought about being an actor in the beginning. I really wanted to be a dancer, and then law came in because my parents were like, well, you're going to have to eat.
You're going to have to
So
eat.
you're going to have to eat. That was more like a hobby.
Yes.
It wasn't something that was a profession. So truth of the matter is that I started by leaving home as a runaway when I was very young. And that courageous move, if you will, started the journey that ended up in New York at the Public Theater, and then New York to Hollywood, and then Hollywood to Houston.
So wait 1 minute. Wait. Let's go back. Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
And you travel to these big city lights.
Listen, I have my parents to really thank for that, because my parents instilled in us. I'm one of 5 children. There are 4 of us still living, but I'm one of 5. One of 2 daughters. My parents had 2 daughters and 3 sons. But my father worked with the YMCA. And because of his work with the YMCA as a fundraiser and program developer, he was sought after. So we moved quite a bit.
Right.
So I got the love for travel. I learned how to be quickly adaptable in new situations and environments, because the grades could not drop because it was a new school, new city. Mom and Dad Stickney did not play that. So the beginnings for me, I look back at it now, it was really my parents and that moving a lot. At that time, it was horrible, of course. We moved an average of every year and a half until I was a senior in high school. So the longest we ever lived anywhere was 3 years, and that was in Kansas City, Missouri.
Wow.
So there was this thing in me that I didn't understand what it was, but I was always able to learn the latest dances very fast. I was always a lover of poetry, thanks to both my mother and father, who were very literate people and loved poetry and the written word. So when I boarded a train one Monday night from the home that my parents then lived in, Wilmington, Delaware, and 40 years ago, I boarded a train, the Amtrak, hiding in the bathroom because I didn't have the fare. And I couldn't ask my parents because they would know I was going to New York. So I arrived in New York, went to the Public Theater, the New York Shakespeare Festival, to attend a writer's workshop being conducted by Ed Bullins. There it began.
Wait a minute. You hid in the bathroom, traveled along the way, and got there.
God is good.
He is.
God
He is
amazing.
Yeah.
And so my journey began that way. I always knew that it was a blessing, it was a gift, it was magic.
Right.
What I call God magic.
Yeah.
Because there was no explanation how this little black girl,
Yes.
this little two black girl from Little Rock, Arkansas, North Little Rock, Arkansas at that, came from there to Dallas, to Wichita Falls, to Port Arthur, to Kansas City, to Wilmington, Delaware, to be moved, inspired, or so frustrated that I would get on that train and go.
Right. Right.
And I did.
Right. Let's talk about, in some part, you met along the way Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis. The world, you know.
Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis, of course. Who didn't know? If you looked at any film
Exactly.
at all, you knew who Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis
Right.
were. And because I was also a student of the theater, I knew who they were from the theater. Pearlie was first Ozzie Davis. A lot of people don't know that. But I was blessed. Talk about God and magic. How did I end up at a theater called the New Heritage Theater, where they happened to be the patron saints of the theater? So they were, at most opening night performances, this little theater, 3 flights upstairs, across the hall from Prince of Peace Pentecostal Church, hallelujah, amen, was the New Heritage Theater. But Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis were our patrons. So under their watchful eye,
Right.
we were able to perform theater in a place in Harlem before Harlem was in vogue.
Right.
It was before gentrification.
Right.
So this was amazing.
Right.
But that was the fertile ground that gave birth to me as an artist. Wow. Yeah. And also, I was in film school because at that time you didn't do above the line and below the line.
Right.
So I was going to film school in the day, the Institute of New Cinema Artists. Thank you for giving birth to me and other producers.
Right.
So I was really working in production behind the scenes
Right.
and sneaking off at night to rehearse in the theater. And it was 3 years before I would tell people that about my entry into both worlds.
Wow.
And I continue that even now, to always be my owner of my product, to be the owner of my projects and product, if I could, because I understood working from behind the camera the importance of everyone in that studio.
Right.
I learned the importance. I knew everyone's name. So as I began to work as an artist, as an actor, as talent, nobody knew why I had such respect for the crew. Nobody understood why before I left the crew, or when they said, "It's Miss Stickney's last day, ladies and gentlemen," I knew everyone's name. I said good night and good morning to everyone because I knew the respect that they deserved. Because if not for the lighting, if not for the sound, if not for wardrobe, if not for set.
Right. Right.
So I learned to respect the collaborative art form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow.
And Ruby and Ozzie were at the helm and were there all the way, I say, throughout. I was blessed to have audience with her, just as many of us were, because of my work with the Institute of New Cinema Artists, because of her love for the theater, and specifically Roger Furman and the New Heritage. Roger was Dinah Sands was his muse.
Right.
Need I say more? Dinah Sands. For those of you who are millennials, please Google her. Dinah Sands. She was an important person in the American theater.
Absolutely. You speak on the fact when you're going out and you're trying to get roles based on color.
Yeah.
And I think we as a people, racism amongst ourselves, color.
Yeah. There's
The darker the melanin, the lighter the melanin, things like that, and then coming up for roles.
Yes, it's still, unfortunately, it has grown some, but unfortunately, some of the ills that were done us,
Yes.
psychologically, our psyche,
Yes.
we still, suffering from. And so I used to tell people, I'm a total denial of all the myths. Okay. So I learned to articulate because they did not expect one such richly melanated as myself to be able to speak the King's English.
I love it.
And
love it.
so, but yes, those things still exist, unfortunately. I was grateful to be able to, as I said, break some of the molds or at least stretch and expand the boundaries.
Exactly.
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 Felicia Rashad once said that I was the first Afrocentric character in primetime television. I thank her for bringing me that awareness, but then I had to go into my memory and salute women like Juanita Mahone, who's now Juanita Mahone Jennings, who was on a soap opera when I arrived in New York back in the 80s wearing locks. And I remember East Side, West Side, when Cicely Tyson had that short fro.
Right.
So yes, in my line, on my time, I was that one that said, no, I knew that if a picture was worth 1,000 words, every time they saw me, they were going to see royalty, majesty. They were going to see history beyond and before slavery.
Yes.
And so that was my way. That was my personal statement and my personal revolution, if you will.
Absolutely.
Because every time I was on a red carpet, I was wearing something that was cultural. My head was going to be wrapped.
Exactly.
As the royal family should.
Let's see you in action. Let's see a video of you in action.
The Pistons might be there, but the Lakers will be playing.
Yeah. Did you see the Lakers game last night?
Baby, I never knew you were such a Lakers fan.
I'm a fan of all men that tall wearing pants that short making cash that long.
For me, I gave up on basketball when Michael Jordan got married.
Oh, no. He can't be married. Now, how could he be married and not married to me?
You never even met Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah? Then why his sneakers under my bed every night?
Flowers for Miss Vicky St. James.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Usually the tip is to thank you.
Oh, don't you just hate that? It's so impersonal. Vicky, this came for you.
Ooh, those are gorgeous. And where were you last night?
In front of the TV. They must be from Arsenio or maybe that home shopping network. They're from Clark Moore. Get out of here. Vicky Clark Moore from high school.
Yes, it says he's going to be here tomorrow and he wants to see me. Girl, it's been 12 years. You think he'll still recognize me?
Sure, just find a parked car and sit in the back seat.
I love that. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. How did that one start?
Oh, my word. You know, that was actually George Jackson and Doug McHenry were the producers, and Clarence Avant, who now we know is the Godfather.
Yes.
You know, they were involved in bringing a new kind of programming to primetime network at that time, and so I had a development deal. At that time, very few black, white, let alone, or Caucasian, let alone blacks, knew about a development deal. So I was fortunate to have a development deal, which meant that they paid me a certain amount of money just not to talk to another network. The set was being built on a beauty shop. There was a beauty shop set already existing for something that another person or another production company was going to do. And so Cheryl Lee Ralph was attached, and they asked if I would be willing to do the show set in a beauty shop. Of course I said yes, because I had left New York doing comedy in the streets, passing the hat, doing my stage work, which doesn't pay at all what you can make in episodic television, and primetime especially. So I said yes, you know, of course, and New Attitude was born. Morris Day was in it. The special part for me was because I wore, I didn't know at that time, but I had a seamstress. I had my own seamstress. And so she made many of the clothes that I wore. They allowed me to dress myself and embraced my personal style, and which inspired me later now to have my clothing line. But it was just also what was important to me was that I was allowed to hire at least 25 extras. For every show. Really? Because if you go back, and those people who were historians, if you will, of the show or black television, everyone who sat in my character's seat had natural hair.
Right.
I was able to cast women that had Afrocentric or cultural style, because I said, y'all not gonna act like I'm the only one like me out here on the whole planet, okay? So, you know these people? So I had people that were from my dance class, Nzinga Kamara, who is a beautiful dancer and brought African dance to a higher level and respect in Los Angeles community. She was one of the extras that would sit in my chair, and all of my sisters from the dance world. So that was important to me, that they respected my opinion and my knowledge and my vision enough to allow me to hire extras for the set. And so certain women that would have never worked knew that because I was there, they were going to get a chance to be on that
Absolutely.
show.
And by them sitting in that chair, they were then exposed to the world. And many of them, I understand, and speaking to some in my research, you actually opened the door for them to go on as actual actresses along the way.
I did.
That no one even would have known about had they not come and sat in the chair. Wow.
I did what I was taught to do.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, each one teach one.
Yes.
You know, and if you have an opportunity, I don't think that I have the only idea. I may have one of the best,
Right.
but I don't have the best. I'm not egomaniacal in that way. So I know that if I am hungry 3 times a day, someone else is too.
Yeah.
So if I can sit down and have a meal and I know that there is enough for the others to eat, then I'm going to say, listen, y'all, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You interested?
Come on in.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on in.
I love that about you. And speaking to several, like I said, especially for women empowerment, you really push for women, especially African-American women. You've really been pushing for them. And then to open the doors for them. Why so?
I knew what it was like for a little girl like me. I knew what it was like for other little girls and other little chocolate people on the planet that are just not celebrated because we're chocolate.
Right.
Nothing else, no one,
Right.
Nothing else. I just showed up chocolate.
Yeah.
Now there's an issue.
Yes.
So I knew that it was my spirit, my responsibility. I see my father do it.
Right.
I grew up in a household where we helped everybody.
Right.
We understood our place as children, as their progeny. We understood, but we knew that we had a community responsibility.
Right.
And now we know we have a global responsibility.
Expected.
And for me, it was just also a very personal that I wanted to make my mother and father proud of me, because I had been that one that left home at 16. I had been the one to defy all the rules. And so I said, well, at least if I can give value to that again, to my name and to their name. So anything that I could do, helping someone didn't cost me anything.
I love that, love that, love that. Let's do this. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
During the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm attorney Willie Powles. Allow me to express myself with you. If you've been hurt or injured in a car or truck accident, give me a call and we'll get it fixed today.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call attorney Willie Powles.
Now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey family, we are back with Phyllis Yvonne Stickney. If you want to make calls to her, give a call to us. 346-874-7267. 346-874-7267. I am so proud of you. I'm telling you, you have helped so many women just to open the doors for them. And we were just talking about that. Just an avenue for many. And we just don't do that anymore.
We do it in ways that sometimes only benefit us or the small group that we deem are important.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we are selective in who we help.
Right.
And to some extent, I know that we have, at some point, sometimes, those who are quote unquote the talented 10th, there's been a much required, but then we remember to he who much is given, much is required.
Absolutely.
And so for me, it's access.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't cost me anything to give a person access.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
To the information or the channel or the conduit to which. And for me to be able to bring them on camera, I knew what that would do. Right. I knew what bringing on camera would be. That picture is worth 1,000 words. That's 90 million viewers. That's
right.
That's something that you can get a clip of it and show that I did this work. Because I was held back because I didn't have this, I didn't have that, I didn't have this. And then I was this chocolate person that dared show up and didn't want to be a buffoon, didn't want to be just, I've never played a crackhead. I've never played a prostitute. And I'm chocolate. That's a big statement.
Yes.
And I've worked for 40 years this year. 40 years.
I could not believe that. I could not believe it.
My word. My sister, I have in Gozi, finally, she said to me, you can't just let this year go by uncelebrated. I was like, 40 years.
Yes.
40 years. But I stand on the shoulders of Mad Sinclair, Obaye, Rosalind Cash, Obaye, Maya, Dr. Maya Angelou, Obaye. I stand on the shoulders of these, Bea Richards.
Right.
These are the women who poured into my life.
Right.
These are the women who spoke into me. In addition to Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, these are just the people that I can name that you know, but the others that you don't know that are amazing. The Barbara Ann Tears, the Rosetta Lenoirs. These were the women. When I arrived in New York City, there were 120 Black producing theaters. You're hard-pressed to find 5 now. Right. So when we talk about what's happened, I'm back because my campaign is bring class and culture back.
There you go.
Can we bring some class and culture back? Can we put a hold on ratchet for about 20 minutes? Can we have a moratorium on ratchet, people, please? Can we please? Twerking isn't working. So, not for everyone. And when I saw the grandma twerking and the great-granny twerking, I said, okay, I got to get back out of here. Lost it. Jerry and Mari has taken them astray.
Right. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you mentioned that because of the fact that for you were the one that I so loved. You wore your own wardrobe.
Yeah.
You wore what you wanted unapologetically. I love that about you.
It was
you were there before Wakanda.
Listen, I tell them I was Wakanda before Wakanda. What? It was important to me.
Yeah.
It was 2 things. Here I was in America that didn't really want to embrace her little chocolate child. She didn't want to embrace me the way that she did the others. And we don't, you can say what you may.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
About the situation. So, the Black of the Berry was really the situation. We had games and everything for it, right? If you're Black, So, for me, just even being able to be invited to the party was important.
Yeah.
But when I got to the party, the funny thing was that I would see people who would try to act like I wasn't at the party, like they didn't see me. I was like,
right.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's how we doing it?
For real? Oh, wait a minute. You don't see me? What?
That's how we're doing it.
That's how we going? Are we playing it like that today? Oh, okay. All right. So I just wanted to say, listen, you know somebody in your family tree looks just like me. That's it. Somebody in your family tree looks just like me. So stop being in denial about the Nile.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Many people don't know all that you've done, but just a few, we will say, a few. Inkwell,
Yes.
Malcolm X,
Yes.
Women of Brewster's Place. What's love got to do with it? How Stella got our groove back. New Jack City.
That was the one.
Comic View and Showtime at the Apollo.
Yes, wow.
Just to name a few.
Name a few.
Just to name a few.
It's been a journey.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
These last years, when internet, because I talk about it in my comedy, when the internet came, well, first it was reality shows that came. When reality shows hit, Cam, it was different. Cam, it became different. Cam, it's different. Reality, because you do not wake up like that. Stop telling people you wake up like that, girl. Stop that. And lashes and lashes and more lashes and more lashes. Do not let a heavy wind come because you will be lifted with them lashes. It became a whole reality TV. We want to bring production here because we have other stories and other perspectives to show and tell.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your production company. Let's talk about it. Private Stock Studio.
Yeah. It's a family affair. I'm so excited that we've all sustained long enough. And that's a real
that's real.
Not even just in these COVID days, but sustainability for Black people at all, knowing how we've been marginalized in everything.
Right.
Everything. We thought upward mobility. We thought we had something. Because I'm old enough to remember CETA programs. Holler. We thought we had done it, right? But then we came with this reality show. The writers were out of work.
Right.
Because who's writing for reality shows? Actors were no longer required because all you had to do was be raunchy. Be, or real to some point where, or here's the other favorite part, you have 250,000 followers.
Right.
So now you're an influencer, you're talented, and I'm not poo-pooing any people that use that technology to get on. Let me just be clear. Let Empress be clear. If you have talent and for all the other reasons you couldn't get a leg up, I hear you. But all you people that's out there just hanging out, getting paid for just being a person, I remember a time when talent was required.
I'm telling you, you were right.
Talent was required.
It was.
You couldn't be mediocre. Yeah. I'm from New York. That's the fertile ground. The theater. When Essie Patha Murkison, I remember when I was in Hollywood, one of the first of the line to go over. Yeah. But I was there to watch Denzel Washington and Samuel Jackson. But I said Sam Art Williams because those were the writers that they came from the Black theater experience, not only in New York, but in Chicago, in Atlanta, wherever there were Black theaters thriving. All of a sudden, Hollywood came and took all of our writers.
Right.
And once there were we know about August Wilson, but before August Wilson, there was A. Marcus Hemphill, there was John McNeil, there were writers writing, Levi Simon, there were amazing P.J. Gibson, there were, we know Katori Hall because of P-Valley today. We know Katori, but these are people that came from the theater. Lynn Nottage, these are women and writers from the theater. So when Hollywood came and usurped, just took our writers away, oh my word, what did we do? Those 90, 120 Black theaters became, because of course, who can fault you for wanting to make enough to feed your family and take a vacation? But I would always say what happened also was then rappers and ball players and models became actors too.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So those of us who paid dues, I tell people, my dues have paid dues. Okay, my dues have paid dues.
Exactly.
So how come I can't get an audition? Why I got to get in the line?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there, because this girl here has 250,000 followers, or she got 100,000 followers, I'm no longer the first person that you think about.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've compromised the quality of your work.
Mm-hmm.
And you've actually set up a false sense of reality for that person.
Right.
I tell people I can talk because I was one of the first ones that went over across the line when Mike Matthews, before Tyler, we love you, Tyler. Mike Matthews, Shelley Garrett were producing those kinds of plays.
Mm-hmm.
In the legitimate theater, those of us who were union card holders looked at that kind of theater like, little side eye. Because they weren't trained. Mm-hmm. They didn't understand. There was always going to be a certain kind of story being told.
Right.
And everybody was going to holler. Mm-hmm. They weren't going to project. They were going to holler for an hour or two. But I went with a man named Mike Matthews, and I did a play called Mama Don't. Mm-hmm. So I was the first. But I hid that from everybody in my legitimate world.
Right.
But I knew that they had created something important. They had created a conduit to an audience that would support what we did, Black, on that stage. Mm-hmm. And so the conversations that I had with Davey Talbert before he became, Mm-hmm. So I'm calling y'all, holla at your girl. I opened up for Dave Chappelle opened for me. Imagine that.
Dave Chappelle.
All you history buffs, all you comedy lovers out there, all you comedy club venue owners, all you people who need to know you need to. Dave Chappelle actually was the one to tell me that. In a moment when I was just incredulous, he said, "Do you remember when I opened for you?" And I was like, "You opened for me?" But in the world of me surviving, being that chocolate girl,
right?
I know what it took me to get on that stage at Caroline South Seaport. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't have that agent, or I was the agent.
You were the agent.
I was wearing all 15 of the hats.
Yeah.
And so I didn't remember. But when he spoke that truth to me, my mind went back, and you were that little skinny guy, and I remembered the little skinny comedian that opened for me. But he became Dave Chappelle.
Right.
But the little black girl couldn't hardly get the mic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even though she had sold the pilot Showtime at the Apollo to network television.
Wow.
Before Steve Harvey, before Kim Coles, before Sinbad, I was the host. Mm-hmm. And not knowing some of the rules, if you will, of the game, I gave her everything. I told them, "Oh, yeah, we go here and eat over here," because they were in Harlem.
Right.
They didn't know Harlem. I lived in Harlem. I could walk to the Apollo Theater.
Right.
So there were, I won't call any names, but their initials are Dave Harding and Mr. Banner. Mm-hmm. I hope they're still in life, and if they are, reach out to a sister. Mm-hmm. But they were two Caucasian men in Harlem at that time who had a vision about bringing what we had known as the Great Apollo.
Yes.
But I won first place. Mm-hmm. And that first place win put me in a different kind of position.
Right.
I was one of the few comedians to ever win first place because it was a singer's house. But it put me in the presence of Clarence Jones and other people who were behind the scenes working out this deal to bring the show to network television. Mm-hmm. They took a 20-minute pilot. 10 minutes of that 20 minutes was Phyllis Yvonne Stickney performance at the Apollo the night I won. And then they invited me back to do the taping to send to the network.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about Women of Brewster's Place.
Oh, yeah.
And just you at that time. Let's go back to that and speak about how you got the role, And then what happened, that was kind of pivotal, I thought, with women. Just how you got the role, because I understand you didn't have an agent at the time.
Oh my God, I just want to speak the name of Reuben Cannon.
Yes.
I want to speak his name because Reuben Cannon was the man behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He was a producer at the time. Well, no, I'm sorry. He was a casting director at the time. He was a casting director. He was a casting director, a man of color, who framed Roger Rabbit. Right. It wasn't just black stuff. You know, he was the casting director, well respected. And so he and I had met during one of those moments when I was listening to God and showed up at an audition with a casting director who he had trained. And she was casting for something that ABC used to do, Movies of the Week. Yes, I'm dating myself. ABC used to do Movies of the Week. And there was a movie called The Marva Collins Story, true story about a woman who had an independent school in Chicago. I showed up at the audition. They were all children. But Olaiya saw me and said, I got something. Come tomorrow. Da-da-da-da-da. And that tomorrow put me in the knowing, in the meeting of Reuben Cannon.
Right.
Who didn't have anything for me, even though he auditioned and I could see he saw something. Later, what he saw in me as talent, he rewarded with the role of Cora Lee.
Right.
And I didn't have an agent. So when he called to say, Phyllis, you got the role, but we don't have an agent. We need an agent to offer the role to. And so there was a woman named Miriam Baum who I had
we
met.
need you to have an agent.
Right, because, that's the business.
Right.
Talent couldn't get that offer. And so Miriam Baum became my agent on record for that particular contract negotiation. But also what happened was, for me, I created my own agent so that would never happen. And behind the scenes, I became my own agent for many negotiations. Just whatever I had to do, darling. You have to do what you have to do from time to time. Do you understand what I'm talking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, what I would do, her name was Bonnie Rosenthal. Don't hate me because I'm fabulous. Do you understand what I'm talking to you, darling? Listen. Do you know Phyllis Yvonne Stickney? Amazing. Isn't she fabulous? Don't you love her? Listen, are we going to make a deal or not? I can't possibly think about it for less than 15. That's what I'm talking about, 15. You understand? The ride is no big deal. The ride is an airplane ticket, a couple of...
Absolutely, absolutely. What we're going to do, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
During the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm attorney Willie Powles. Allow me to express myself with you. If you've been hurt or injured in a car or truck accident, give me a call and we'll get it fixed today.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, thank you so much, family, for coming back. Phyllis Yvonne Stickney, we have just been talking. You have a clothing line. Let's not forget that. Yes. It is culture chic.
Listen, I had to dress the dolls. You know what I mean? I had to get it right, you know. I wasn't one of those girls who could go and shop off the rack. I'm just saying there was little curves. You understand what I'm saying? There was a little extra going on. And so back in the day, I remember that the clothes that fit me best were from the 40s and the 50s. I used to wear only antique clothes, vintage clothes. So that was how it first began for me. And then I began to alter them, add a little kick pleat that was kente, do a little. And then I went full African for a number of years, traditional clothing only and always. But then it was important for me to get back into corporate, if you will. The wardrobe was important when I went to certain meetings. So I started creating my own stuff, my own clothes. The lapa was really the beginning of it. And for every African woman, you know what a lapa is. For you people out there that don't know what a lapa is, there's 2 yards of fabric. And the fabric, you take it behind you like this, and you cover like that, and then you wrap again. And then you tie it, if you can tie it in the back. If you cannot, you lock it and you tuck it under. That is what every African woman knows, how to tie a lapa. You can do many things in a lapa, right? So that incorporated with the 50s, because there was always a peplum in many African clothing. And so I started wearing my garments, the things that I'd made. It was also because I'd been frostbitten the first year in New York, and they weren't, to buy cashmere off the rack would have been a lot different. But I could go and buy the yardage and create.
Right.
So it was an evolution, really. It was a man, Woody King, said to me, you know, people come to the theater, the first thing you want to know is what she have on. And I noticed that people would come and grab my coat and, you know, want to see, what are you wearing? And as time went on, I was making the pieces, but I wasn't making them for others. It had to be a special situation, a special person, because it was a lot that went in. And I didn't want to sound, you know, elitist, but I was like, listen, this cashmere is costing $50, $60 a yarn, okay? So I ain't just going out buying 20, 40, you know, and hope someone wants to get it, you know. So I would only do custom. And then I met a friend who was an attorney, or who is an attorney, and she allowed me to make some pieces for her because suits. So the umbrella is the Empress Collection.
Yes.
And under the Empress Collection, we have Butter Baby. And Butter Baby is for the fuller figured ladies. We have Ghetto Flower, which is really my younger, and activewear. And Anointed Adornments, fashions fit for the First Lady. Those are my suits that go from the boardroom to the ballroom. I love suits. I love being a lady in a suit, but men fabric, you know, I use men tailoring fabric. And I've been able to meet a bespoke tailor, tailor who's helping me. So I had a few folks trying to steal my stuff, and there's a few little bumps along the way, but I'm at the place now where I have my patterns, I'm ready to cut them, and I have a few spokesmodels. So we're going to be able, hopefully Martin Luther King, if everything goes right, we know where we're going to hope to be at. We're at Taylor's. And then we're gonna have a little sneak peek of the line.
Perfect.
Martin Luther King. So I'm looking forward to that.
So we have some upcoming things that are happening with you. Let's see. You've got some. Some things that you've brought.
I've got some things. Listen, all you people.
You've got some upcoming
want to
things.
take a piece of Phyllis. Some of y'all want to take a piece of me home. I know you do.
Yes.
You didn't bring a doggy bag, but you want to take something home. Listen, what we have for you now.
You got it? There you go.
Is we have this amazing poster. Right? This amazing poster. So this amazing poster here, a lot of people know this image because it's been viewed like 3 million times. I need the credit for this. Facebook, Instagram, give me credit for this. This was actually on the Phil Donahue show, and it's a steal from that. But on the border are a photograph from all of the things that I've done, from the Cosby Show, Women of Brewster Place, and all those things. So this can be yours. We are doing the Stickney collection, and there are things that are 30 years old that we are allowing just only 150 fortunate people to purchase. So you're going to be able to send us an email at info@phyllisstickney.com, and you can get the information. Or you can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, PhyllisYvonneStickney.com, and find out how to get this poster. Now, this one has a name already written on it. We do autograph them. So hit us up and let us know if you would like one of these in your Kwanzaa bag.
Absolutely. You got that one, and you have one more.
I have one more, and this one is really special to me because it's 30 years ago that I took this picture. It was 30 years ago that I was in Harlem, and one of my brothers, who is an amazing photographer as well as other things. I have a brother, Timothy, that some know is an actor as well. But my brother, Eric, took this photograph 1991 when I was standing at my window on Riverside Drive in Harlem. And I didn't know what he saw. He said, Phil, they call me Phil. He said, Phil, don't move. Don't move. And he got his camera. And when he developed it, this is what he saw.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So we're going to do a limited number, but they're all numbered and they're all signed. And we're going to make a few special people who hit us up on the Facebook or Instagram. I'm Phyllis Yvonne Stickney on Instagram, Phyllis Stickney on Facebook. Send me or hit me, DM me, as they say. DM me. Listen to the language I'm using. Oh, my goodness. So DM me if you want it, or you can just send us an email at info@phyllisstickney.com and find out how to get one for you.
Absolutely. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You've got a lot of great things.
Listen, I didn't realize how many things, like the poster from New Jack City.
Yes.
I have things from Spike Lee days,
Yes.
and that are just one of a kind, or just a few. And so when I realized how the plethora of images that we had, my father, who is an ancestor, and I were going to do my fan club, and so we're going to do that. My nephew is here with me now, and I said I wasn't going to talk about my husband, and so we're doing these things together.
Absolutely.
And some of them, they were very protective of this one.
Yes.
They almost didn't let me. They didn't want this one to come out the house.
They didn't want that one to come out.
They didn't want that one to come out. Oh, come on, Auntie, you can't sell that one, Auntie. No. But it's such a great image that I said, okay. So we picked about 5.
Okay.
We picked 5. And these are my favorite, 2 of my favorite of the 5.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And we want to be able to dress the set when we're here doing production in Texas. We want to bring production to Houston specifically.
Yes.
There's so much talent here.
Yes,
and there's
so
so much
much
that's already been done
Yes.
with the ensemble theater.
Yes.
There's so much that's already been done, the history of who has come out of here. But my, being a Southern girl and being really a student of production and knowing the value, there's so much that we can do here.
Yes.
It's a rich and fertile time to do it, independent film coming to Houston is what I want to also do in 2021.
There you go.
Start our first production right here in Houston.
There you go.
So we'll be talking about auditions and looking for crews and things like that for the private stock studio.
There you go. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Writing a book and a play, that's down the line.
I've actually written, I just want to get them published. I'm working on the play now. I'm working on one play that talks about the experience of being Bonnie Rosenthal behind closed doors, and having to do that, having to create that because agents didn't see how they were going to book me. They didn't.
Right.
Well, what will you do? Well, because there were things that I wasn't willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't willing to play certain roles. I wanted my mother to be able to sit in that front row,
Right.
and bring the ladies from the church and her friends.
Mm-hmm.
So there were certain things that just weren't for me.
Right.
And
They
now
weren't your platform.
They
That's
was
what
not
I'm-
my platform.
No.
Women have to understand who we are. Our power is great and greater than just what we can do between the sheets. That's special too, but that's not my only value. It's not my only value. Maybe one of your favorite.
Too much. How can people get? Oh, let's do this. What would be your last words to the viewers? Just look right in the camera and tell the viewers.
Viewers,
Yeah.
I'm here for you. Zoom has become the way of the world. I have things I'd love to share with you. Content, creative fashions, a lot of stuff. All you need to do is follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. We need to bring our numbers up. So this is my personal campaign to say everyone who enjoyed anything that I said today, anything that you heard today, to follow me on Instagram. That's IG, you know the deal, Phyllis Yvonne Stickney, or Facebook, so that when those numbers come up, we're going to be going to subscribers only very soon, because we got some content for you, and it's going to be shot in your town. So follow me so you can find out the details and help a sister get the stories told.
Absolutely. So proud of you. So, man, today has been great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all you have done for us for 40 years. That day that you were on the train, not realizing the doors that you were opening for
not at all.
so many others, had you not gotten on there, all of us wouldn't have been able to be where we are. Thank you. Thank you so much. On next week. Well, first of all, Merry Christmas.
That's
Merry
right.
Christmas
Oh, my
Friday.
It went like this.
It went like that. Merry Christmas. Next week is Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from us.
Right, and Happy Hanukkah and
There
Happy
you go.
Kwanzaa.
All of it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
For everyone. Thank you so much. We will be right back. I have Phyllis Stickney with me. Man, that was my Christmas gift. Thank you.
Wow.
Christmas Friday.
This for a moment now I'm tripping right now.
Look,
because for
and
real.
then next week, New Year's.
And that man's still sitting there.
We will see you. We will be 12:30 to 1:30 Central Standard Time. See you every day. Bye.